Ever wonder how a few guys in a mailroom managed to build a Hollywood empire?
Sounds like a story.
It is, and we're diving right into it.
All right, let's do it.
This is the story of Creative Artists Agency, or CAA.
CAA, huh? So much power, so much mystery.
Exactly, they're like the legends of Hollywood.
And we're trying to demystify them a bit.
Absolutely, we're going behind the scenes with, get this, CAA Powerhouse by James Andrew Miller.
Okay, juicy. What's the inside scoop?
So Miller starts with this crazy story, right? An agent promises an apartment to someone he barely knows.
Classic Hollywood, overpromising.
Yeah, but then get this, the agent disappears.
No way.
It's wild, right? It's like this perfect example of the insane ambition and high-stakes world of Hollywood.
And that's where CAA comes in.
Right. This is the world to the feeler. Michael Ovitz, Ron Meyer, Bill Haber, Michael Rosenfeld, and Roland Perkins were diving headfirst into.
These are the founding fathers of CAA we're talking about.
The OGs, yeah. They were at William Morris before, the big agency.
William Morris, everyone wanted a piece of them back then.
Exactly. But it was also, like, super traditional, old school.
Ah, so these guys were the rebels.
100%. They wanted something different, something more...
More aggressive, more ambitious.
Exactly. They literally walked out of William Morris, no looking back.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Miller describes this one executive at William Morris, Sam Weisbord.
What'd he say?
He was speechless, totally floored.
I can only imagine.
They were taking a huge risk.
But they had a plan?
Oh yeah, they went after clients like nobody's business.
You bet they did.
Put together these package deals that had Hollywood talking.
Smart.
And Michael Ovitz, he was relentless, a workaholic.
In a town like Hollywood, you gotta be.
He understood that relationships were everything.
It's all about who you know.
Millard even talks about how Ovitz sent flowers to Michael Eisner's wife after a meeting.
Wow, talk about playing the game.
But it wasn't just Ovitz.
The whole agency was like that.
This intense work culture, it became part of CAA's DNA.
So even if you were just starting out, the pressure was on.
There's this crazy story Miller tells about a job interview for a mailroom position.
A mailroom position?
Yeah, and the applicant is practically grilled by Ovitz himself.
No way. So even the entry-level positions were a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
They were looking for future stars, even in the mailroom.
It's incredible to think that's how this Hollywood dynasty got its start. From a mailroom to ruling the industry.
What a story.
So by the mid-'80s, CAA, they're on top of the world, right?
Yeah, but you know what they say about the higher you climb.
It's a long way down.
Exactly. And Miller, he doesn't shy away from the shadier side of success.
Like what? Spill the tea.
Well, there's this whole thing with Spy Magazine, remember them?
Vaguely. What do they do?
They were obsessed with Ovitz, like couldn't get enough of him.
Really? Wow.
He was so secretive, like a Hollywood sphinx.
And Spy tried to crack the code?
They even published CAA's client list just to, mess with him.
No way. Did that work?
It just added to Ovitz's mystique.
Makes you wonder if he orchestrated the whole thing.
Right, like some kind of power play.
Speaking of power plays, what about that MCA Matsushita deal?
Oh man, that was huge. $6.6 billion, can you believe it?
Seriously.
That's insane.
Ovitz, he was like a chess master, orchestrated the whole thing.
He must have been riding high after that.
It cemented CAA's position, showed Hollywood they were the real deal.
But even with all that success, there were cracks, weren't there?
Oh yeah, Miller talks about how things started to unravel between Ovitz and Ron Meyer.
Classic case of too much ambition.
Something like that. They both had these huge personalities, strong visions.
And that caused friction.
Big time. They clashed over everything. Management styles, money, power.
Counts intense.
It was, and you could feel the tension building. Miller does a great job capturing that.
So what happened?
Well, Meyer, he was like the heart of CAA, the one who kept everyone grounded.
And Ovitz was more?
The mastermind, the strategist, some would say ruthless. So when Meyer left to run Universal Studios, it was a huge deal.
Seismic. It sent shockwaves through Hollywood.
Everyone was wondering what's next for CAA.
And more importantly, what about Ovitz?
He was left holding the reins.
Exactly. But with a whole new set of challenges.
The game had changed.
And a new generation was waiting in the wings.
So a changing of the guard at CAA.
The Young Turks, right. Miller talks about them, this new generation ready to make their mark.
Exactly. Richard Lovett, Brian Lord, Kevin Huvane, Jay Maloney, David O'Connor.
Stepping into some big shoes, trying to fill the void left by Ovitz and Meyer.
And they knew they couldn't just replicate the past. The industry was changing too fast.
Miller really drives that point home. This wasn't just a changing of the guard, it was a whole new ball game.
The internet, cable TV exploding, the old studio system starting to crumble,
A recipe for chaos.
and opportunity, at least for those who could adapt.
And adapt they did. These young Turks, they weren't afraid to shake things up.
They made some ruthless decisions, consolidated their power.
There is that whole thing with Jay Maloney.
Tragic story, a reminder of the pressures at that level, the toll it can take.
A dark side to the Hollywood dream, for sure.
But through it all, CAA kept growing, evolving, pushing into new territories.
And like CAA sports, right? Bringing in athletes, a whole new breed of talent.
They saw the potential, the money, the influence.
And the digital world, too. Evolution Media Capital, investing in tech and the future of entertainment.
They were ahead of the curve, anticipating how we consume content.
And then there's that pivotal moment Miller describes, that partner's dinner, Kevin Huvane, he lays it out.
What do you say?
What we had was great, but that was then and this is now.
A line in the sand. The old CAA was gone.
A new era had begun, one shaped by these young Turks, by their vision of the future.
And underpinning it all, this influx of private equity, Miller talks about how that changed everything.
Money, resources, but also pressure, a different kind of game.
So CAA, they go from this small, scrappy agency to this massive, diversified company.
A Hollywood powerhouse, but with a whole new set of challenges, new rivals.
WME-IMG, they're no joke.
A constant battle for talent, for deals, for the future of entertainment.
And that's what makes CAA's story so fascinating. It's a microcosm of Hollywood itself.
The ambition, the competition, the constant need to reinvent yourself.
So where does CAA go from here? Can they hold on to their power in this new landscape?
Miller doesn't give us the answers, but he gives us the tools to understand the questions.
He connects the dots between CAA's past and the present and leaves us wondering about the future.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so rewarding. It's not just a history lesson, it's an invitation to think critically about the forces shaping Hollywood today.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that in this industry, the only constant is change. And those who adapt, those who anticipate, those are the ones who thrive.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into CAA, let's remember that their story is still being written, and who knows, maybe one of us listening will be the one to write the next chapter.
It's a thought-provoking end to a fascinating journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into CAA, the Hollywood powerhouse built on ambition, talent, and a relentless pursuit of success.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
And we'll be back next time with another deep dive into a topic that's shaping our world.
Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep that sense of wonder alive.
See you next time.